In this video, we are going to learn about the bioacoustics portion, characteristics of sound, physical basis of hearing, then the physical organization of ear, physical aspects of sound transmission in the ear, audible sound frequency, pitch perception and theories related with that, infrasonics and ultrasonic sounds, along with echolocation, receiving and analyzing echoes. So just start with the introduction about sound. Sound is a form of energy that travels through matter in the form of waves. It is a crucial aspect of communication and plays a significant role in our daily life. The characteristics of sound include amplitude, frequency, wavelength, and speed, and timbre. Amplitude refers to the maximum displacement of particles in a medium from their resting position as a result of the sound wave. It is related to the loudness of the sound and is measured in decibels. Higher amplitude corresponds to a louder sound. Frequency is the number of waves that passes a point at a given time. It is measured in hertz. High frequency corresponds to a higher pitch sound. Humans can hear frequencies ranging from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Wavelength is the distance between two adjacent peaks or troughs of a sound wave. It is related to the frequency of the sound wave. As the frequency of the sound wave increases, the wavelength decreases. Speed of the sound is the rate at which sound waves travel through a medium. The speed of sound is affected by the temperature, humidity, and density of the medium. In general, the speed of sound is faster in solids and liquids than in gases. Timbre is a quality of the sound that distinguishes one sound from another, even if they have the same amplitude and frequency. The timbre of a sound is determined by the harmonics present in the sound wave, which gives it a unique character. We just mentioning this word with an alternative like quality. So in the rest of the video, we will be calling this timbre word as quality. In addition to this characteristic, sound also has the ability to undergo reflection, refraction, and diffraction. Reflection occurs when sound waves bounce off a surface, while refraction occurs when sound waves bend as they pass through different mediums. Diffraction occurs when sound waves bend around obstacles and spread out in all directions. In conclusion, the characteristics of sound include amplitude, frequency, wavelength, and speed and quality. These properties play a crucial role in determining the quality of the sound and how it is perceived by humans. The ability of sound to undergo reflection, refraction, and diffraction allows it to be transmitted and received over long distances and through different mediums. Next, physical basis of hearing. Hearing is one of the five senses of human body which allows us to perceive and interpret sound waves from our environment. It is a complex process that involves the physical properties of sound waves and anatomy of the ear and the neurophysical mechanisms of the auditory system. Sound waves are created by the vibrations of an object and travel through the medium, usually air, as a series of compressions and rarefactions. The physical properties of sound waves include frequency, amplitude, and wavelength. Frequency determines the pitch of the sound, amplitude determines the loudness, and wavelength determines the quality of the sound. The ear is the organ responsible for detecting and perceiving sound waves. It consists of three main parts: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. The outer ear consists of the pinna and the ear canal, which collect and direct sound waves toward the eardrum. The middle ear consists of the eardrum and three tiny bones called ossicles, which amplify and transmit sound waves to the inner ear. The inner ear consists of cochlea, a fluid-filled structure lined with hair cells that convert sound waves into electrical impulse, which are then transmitted to the brain through the auditory nerve. So after the transmission of sound waves into the ear canal, then it reaches the eardrum, and the middle ear consists of an eardrum and three tiny bones called the ossicles, which amplify and transmit sound waves to the inner ear. The inner ear consists of the cochlea, a fluid-filled structure lined with hair cells that convert sound waves into electrical impulses, which are then transmitted to the brain through the auditory nerve. The process of hearing begins when sound waves are collected by the pinna and directed towards the eardrum. The eardrum then vibrates in response to the sound waves, which are then amplified by the ossicles and transmitted to the inner ear. The hair cells in the cochlea are stimulated by the vibrations, which generate electrical impulses that are transmitted to the brain through the auditory nerve. The brain then interprets these electrical impulses as sound. The physical basis of hearing can be explained by the principles of physics, such as the properties of sound waves and the anatomy of the ear. Understanding the physical principles of hearing can help in the diagnosis and treatment of hearing related disorders, as well as the development of new technologies for hearing aids and cochlear implants. Now let's learn about the physical organization of ear. The ear is an organ responsible for detecting and processing sound waves. It is divided into three main parts: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear. Outer ear. The outer ear consists of two main parts, the pinna and the ear canal. The pinna is the visible part of the ear that protrudes from the sides of the head. The pinna is the visible part of the ear that protrudes from the sides of the head. It is made of cartilage and skin and serves to collect and direct sound waves toward the eardrum. The ear canal is a narrow, curved tube that leads from the pinna to the eardrum. The ear canal is lined with small hairs and wax-producing glands that help to trap and prevent foreign objects from entering the body. Middle ear. The middle ear is located between the eardrum and the inner ear. It contains three tiny bones called the ossicles, the malleus, the incus, and the stapes. These bones form a chain that transmits sound vibrations from the eardrum to the inner ear. The middle ear is also connected to the back of the throat by a narrow tube called the eustachian tube. This tube helps to equalize the pressure on either side of the eardrum, which is important for normal hearing. The inner ear is the deepest and the most complex part of the ear. It is located within the temporal bone of the skull and consists of two main parts, the cochlea and the vestibular system. The cochlea is a snail-shaped structure that is responsible for converting sound vibrations into electrical impulses that are sent to the brain. It contains thousands of hair cells that are lined with tiny hairs that move in response to sound vibrations. The vestibular system is responsible for detecting changes in head position and movement. It helps us to maintain balance and spatial orientation. The physical organization of the ear is designed to effectively collect, amplify, and transmit sound waves to the brain for interpretation. Understanding the anatomy and physiology of the ear, it is important for diagnosis and treatment and hearing related disorders, as well as for the development of new technologies for hearing aids and cochlear implants. Physical aspects of sound transmission in ear. Sound is a mechanical wave that travels through a medium such as air or water. When sound waves enter the ear, they are transmitted through a series of physical structures that help to amplify and transform them into electrical signals that the brain can interpret as sound. The physical aspects of sound transmission in the ear involve the movement and interaction of these structures. The pinna and the ear canal of the outer ear collect sound waves and direct them toward the eardrum. The pinna is shaped in such a way as to enhance sound localization by selectively amplifying sounds coming from different directions. The ear canal also plays a role in amplifying certain frequencies of sound, particularly those between 2 to 4 kHz, which are important for speech perception. Next, middle ear. The middle ear contains the three small bones known as the ossicles, malleus, incus, and stapes. These bones amplify the vibrations of eardrum and transmit them to the inner ear. The ossicles act as a lever system, which increases the force of the sound wave and helps to compensate for the differences in size between the eardrum and the oval window of the inner ear. The eustachian tube, which connects the middle ear to the back of the throat, helps to equalize pressure on both sides of the eardrum and maintain optimal conditions for hearing. The inner ear is composed of cochlea and vestibular system. The cochlea is a fluid-filled structure shaped like a snail shell that is responsible for converting sound vibrations into electrical impulses that are sent to the brain. The basilar membrane, which runs the length of the cochlea, vibrates in response to different frequencies of sound. The hair cells located in the top of the basilar membrane are responsible for transducing the mechanical vibrations into neural signals that are sent to the brain. The vestibular system, located adjacent to the cochlea, is responsible for detecting changes in head position and movement. Overall, the physical aspects of sound transmission in the ear involve a complex interplay of structures and mechanisms that are finely tuned to ensure efficient and accurate sound perception. Understanding these mechanisms is critical for the diagnosis and treatment of hearing disorders as well as the development of new technologies for hearing enhancement and restoration. Next, audible sound frequency. The range of audible sound frequency of humans is generally considered to be from 20 Hz to 20 kHz. However, the range can vary from person to person and can also be affected by age and hearing loss. The lower end of the audible frequency range is typically associated with deep bass sound, such as those produced by a bass guitar or a large subwoofer. The middle range is where most speech sounds occur. Wait a minute. The lower end of the audible frequency, 20 Hz, is typically associated with deep bass sounds such as those produced by a bass guitar or a large subwoofer. The middle range is where most speech sounds occur and is important for understanding communication. The upper range is associated with high pitched sounds such as the squeal of a child or a chirping of a bird. It is important to note that while humans can only hear sounds within this frequency range, many animals can hear sounds well above or below these frequencies. For example, dogs can hear frequencies up to 65,000 Hz, while elephants can hear sounds as low as 14 Hz. Pitch perception and theories. Pitch perception is the ability of a human ear to distinguish between different frequencies of sounds, resulting in the perception of different pitches. There are different theories on how pitch or frequency difference can be perceived with human ear, including the place theory, the temporal theory, and the combination theory. The place theory suggests that pitch perception or frequency difference perception is based on the location of the hair cells in the inner ear that are stimulated by sound waves of different frequencies. Specifically, it proposes that high frequency sounds stimulate the hair cells near the base of the cochlea, while low frequency sounds stimulate the hair cells near the apex. This theory helps explain why people can perceive different pitches even though the sound waves itself may look the same. The temporal theory proposes that pitch perception is based on the rate at which the neurons in the auditory nerve fire in response to sound waves. The temporal theory proposes that pitch perception is based on the rate at which the neurons in the auditory nerve fire the response to sound waves. It suggests that low frequency sounds cause the neurons to fire at a slow, regular rate, while high frequency sounds cause the neurons to fire at a fast, irregular rate. This theory helps explain why people can perceive pitch perceptions that occur very rapidly. The combination theory suggests that both the place and temporal theories are involved in pitch perception. Specifically, it proposes that the location of the hair cells on the inner ear plays a role in the distinction between different frequencies of sound, while the rate of neural firing in response to sound waves helps to redefine that perception. Overall, the exact mechanism of pitch perception is still not fully understood, and it is likely that the combination of these theories and other factors are involved. However, studying the perception of pitch is important not only for understanding how the ear works, but also for the development of music and speech processing technologies. Infrasonic and ultrasonic sound characteristic sources and uses. Infrasound refers to sound waves that have a frequency below the range of human hearing, typically below 20 Hz. Ultrasonic sound, on the other hand, refers to sound waves that have a frequency above the range of human hearing, typically about 20,000 Hz. Infrasonic sound is produced by a variety of natural and man-made sources. Below 20 Hz, ultrasonic sound, on the other hand, refers to sound waves that have a frequency above the range of human hearing, typically above 20,000 Hz. Ultrasonic sound is produced by a variety of natural and man-made sources, including earthquakes, volcanoes, ocean waves, and wind. It can also be produced by industrial processes such as machinery and explosions. Infrasound can travel long distances and can be detected by animals such as elephants, whales, and some birds. So, infrasound is produced by a variety of natural and man made sources, including earthquakes, volcanoes, ocean waves, and wind. It can also be produced by industrial applications, processes such as machinery and explosions. Infrasound can travel long distances and can be detected by animals such as elephants, whales, and some birds. Infrasound can be studied for its potential as a warning signal for natural disasters and also for its potential effects on human health, including inducing feelings of unease or even causing physical discomfort. Ultrasonic sound is also produced by a variety of natural and man made sources, including bats, dolphins, and medical ultrasound machines. Ultrasound waves have a number of useful applications, including medical imaging and cleaning. Ultrasound waves can be used to break up plaque and bacteria in dental procedures and to clean delicate surfaces such as jewelry or electronics. Overall, both infrasonic and ultrasonic sound have unique characteristics and sources and have been studied for a variety of applications in fields such as biology, medicine, and industry. Echolocation in detail. Echolocation is a biological mechanism used by certain animals to navigate and locate prey, obstacles, and other objects in their environment. It involves emitting high frequency sounds and analyzing the echoes that bounce back to the animal's ears or other sensory organs. Echolocation is used by a wide variety of animals, including bats, whales, dolphins, some birds, and even some species of shrews and rodents. So, what is happening here? Emitting high frequency sounds and analyzing the echoes that bounce back to the animal's ears or other sensory organs. It's used by bats, whales, dolphins, some birds, and even some species of shrews and rodents. Bats, whales, dolphins, some birds, and even some species of shrews and rodents. Bats are perhaps the most well known users of echolocation, emitting high pitched sounds and using the echoes to detect the location and movement of insects, which then they catch in flight. Whales and dolphins use echolocation to navigate and locate prey in the dark depths of the ocean. They emit clicks and other sounds and analyze the echoes that bounce back to their highly sensitive ears, allowing them to detect even small fish and other organisms in the water. Echolocation has a number of important applications in fields such as biology, medicine, and technology. In biology, the study of echolocation has helped researchers to better understand the behavior and physiology of animals that use this mechanism and to develop new techniques for studying and tracking these animals in the wild. In medicine, echolocation has been used in diagnostic imaging, such as in ultrasound scans, which use high frequency sound waves to create images of internal organs and tissues. This technology is non-invasive and has a wide range of applications from fetal imaging to diagnosing heart diseases and cancer. And technology echolocation has inspired the development of a variety of tools and devices such as sonar systems used to navigate and map, and acoustic sensors helped in security and surveillance systems. Overall, echolocation is a remarkable biological mechanism that has inspired scientific inquiry and technological innovation and has helped animals to navigate and survive in their environments for millions of years.